my primary contact with Utah Education Network. She's the project manager of UEN's Utah American Graduate, part of the National Public Media Initiative, American Graduate Let's Make It Happen. With support from the Corporation for Public Broadcasting and partners, Utah American Graduate raises awareness of education challenges and solutions, including the need to help more Utah women gain the economic, social, and personal benefits of post-secondary education. So please welcome the facilitator for tonight's response, Jen Gibbs.
Thank you so much, Dr. B and the Women's Resource Center here. Very excited to be down here doing our first screening. Who here knows about UEN TV, Channel 9 down here? Okay, a couple of folks. So UEN broadcasts statewide, so you can watch Private Violence, or if you think that this material is something that someone you know may benefit from seeing, it will be broadcast on UEN TV. So we're here on a college campus in this educational setting, and you did mention about how domestic violence can, and intimate partner violence can impact all classes, all races. This really doesn't have boundaries. Is it an education issue? And if so, how?
Absolutely. If a student is being abused either psychologically, physically, emotionally, financially, that can affect them and it can affect their education. There's so many different types of abuse that can happen, and we see this in dating relationships, which is primarily what would affect a student which would be primarily what we would see on campus, would be a dating relationship. But how can you study if you're constantly being asked, where are you at? Who are you with? What are you doing? Don't talk to that person. I know you're having an affair with them. I know you're sleeping with them. Which is kind of what you saw with Deanna, which was, I know you're cheating on me. That's in my experience, that's very common to see that kind of response. But, it's very difficult to concentrate and to go to class and to study and to keep up with your classes if that's what's going on in your life. And that's why we have Title IX, and that's why it's been mandated by the Violence Against Women's Act to be on campuses, is to help students to find relief and to, we can offer interim measures to help them with their classes and to help them in other ways to seek counseling if they're ready to seek counseling. And so it definitely affects students on campus.
Thank you. Impressions of the film?
My name is Alyssa Urzi. I'm the Victim Services Coordinator at the St. George Police Department. Thank you for having this event. I wish there were more people here to see this. My impressions of the film, it's incredible. I love the way it was done. So much good information. Even as an advocate, it's such a good reminder about, why don't you just leave? Why don't you just leave? Because you find yourself asking that question. I do, and we need reminders all the time. And so, thank you.
I'm Lona Trombley. I'm the Public Information Officer with St. George City Police Department. I've been with St. George for 12 years. Get to work closely with Alyssa, which is great, and along with Nadine and Veronica. Thought the video was great. It's very touching, and I think it was important that they presented a variety of cases, including one that shows that the person went back to the person that was hurting her, because unfortunately that is a fact, but that doesn't mean that we give up. So that's why events like this are great. So we appreciate you having us here.
Hi, I'm Cindy Cole. I'm the Title IX Coordinator here at Dixie State. And I deal with sexual assault, domestic violence, dating violence and stalking here on campus, and anywhere that affects students, faculty, staff, or anyone that comes onto campus. In my former life, I used to be a prosecutor in California, and I did a lot of domestic violence cases. And one of the things that I really liked about this film is when she had paper that she wrote, that Kit wrote, and she talked about how the professor said, oh, it's only low income and poor people that this happens to, and not to lawyers or doctors. And that's so false, because in my experience, it happens to everybody. Doesn't matter what race, what socioeconomic background you come from, it happens to everyone. And it's amazing how you hear the same things over and over again. It's almost like there's a script for domestic violence. And it's scary, but it's power and control. It's all about power and control. And I really liked the film. I really enjoyed it.
Hello, I'm Cheryl Hall, and I work as a social worker for DCFS, so Children and Family Services. I work particularly in Child Protective Services, which a lot of my cases are forensic based, so I have a lot of sexual abuse cases. And, you know, we have the DVRCA. I was telling Elizabeth, who is most amazing at our Dove Center, that I've noticed, I don't have statistics. I'm a social worker, I don't do math, but I don't have them anyways. I was paying attention to the last 6 months, and the calls for DVRCA from all departments, I feel have declined. So you can, going into the bookings are part of my daily life. And I do it more times than I would like to go and look and see, you know, do I have a client? What can I do? What does that look like? And there are a lot of cases there that we are not getting, that are, you know, these events happen and the children are in the home. And so I say that, and I also want to say the detectives, the law enforcement that I work with are amazing. I think that there has been a shift in funding and a few other areas, and along with education, we need to look at what that means, because it's significant. As far as, and that was just really important, I did not want to forget to say that, but as far as the movie goes for me, I was watching this with my partner, and when Deanna says, you know, I really wanted to give this picture, really wanted Robbie to know what he's missing. So my partner said, pardon my, what the hell? Why isn't she done? What else? And I just looked over and I smiled, and here's an educated man from Cornell and a businessman and older than I, and I thought, you know, it probably would take me much longer to give him what he needs in this one conversation about how this is, but I mean, that's a fact. Along with talking about people going back to relationships, that's what people think. And so I think those are some really important areas that we need to focus and concentrate when we're working with education and people in our victims. So thank you for coming tonight. Thank you for listening.
So I'm Lindsay Boyer. I'm the executive director of Dove Center, our community-based victim service provider organization, where we provide safe shelter, advocacy, counseling, 24-hour hotline. We provide court advocacy, hospital advocacy, and we serve survivors of domestic violence, sexual assault, stalking, and dating violence. I've been doing this work for several years, and I echo everything that's already been shared. I think one of the most profound points for me that I pull from this documentary is just how the complexities of domestic violence and these dynamics trip people up. Very educated, very wise, very experienced, respectable people in our community, it trips them up. They don't get it, they don't see it unless they've gone through it, unless they've experienced it. And watching this tonight, I think, shed some light on the barriers and why it's concealed and why there are so many things that get in the way of it being exposed and it be something being done about it, and why the courts get tripped up, and why, there's a professor who, in my life, I look up to people who are educators, and if I hear a professor saying, oh, well, this only happens to this, subpopulation, I'm probably gonna buy into it because that's an educator, that's a scholarly individual who knows their stuff. And we have to be able to recognize that this is a unique issue and that it is very difficult to, like you're saying, explain to someone in a 15-minute conversation or even in an hour conversation. I mean, I probably could sit here for the next 6 hours with you guys and hash it out and talk it through, and I still wouldn't feel like I've maybe been able to do it justice. So I love that you guys are all here and that we're here having this conversation so that hopefully the little bits that we all learn and that we all start to see, we can go out and now influence and have an impact on others so that this issue doesn't continue to be taboo or concealed or something that people just don't talk about or doesn't happen to anybody, because everybody's susceptible to it regardless what demographic. So I'm just really excited that we're having the conversation.
Yeah, I certainly invite us all to consider this like.
Depend on whether certain factors were met in regards to that. He hasn't, from what I understand, at any point shown specific aggression to the child. So I don't know if it would be considered that or not. It's something that we would have to investigate further and look into by meeting with family members. But the key with the Amber Alerts is the danger to the child. So I don't know that 100%. I'd have to know more about that case because they didn't issue an Amber Alert. So I would like to know kind of what was happening there that they wouldn't.
Great, and we have another question. Cindy, would you like to address that?
Actually, I think that.
Cheryl?
Cheryl.
I'm sorry.
Cheryl might be better to address that one.
So, in that, I was listening to the trauma, the attachment. So, I'm gonna take the perspective I know, not that I don't, also have male, clients, because I have a ton, but, a mom's perspective, a woman's perspective.
Please educate your friends, your neighbors, your church congregation. Let them know that there is help. There really, really is. We have resources here at St. George. So many people I've heard say, I didn't even know you existed. I didn't even know. And we all work together. We share clients all the time. You out here too. I mean, we surround these people and really, really help them. There's not one of us could do it ourselves. So let people know that there's help out there. Just let them know that. Thank you.
I'd probably echo that. It's the same when we're working with people who are suffering from a mental health crisis. There are resources to help them. And going back and not addressing the issue, like not getting help for a domestic violence victim by showing them that there is a place they can go, there is a safe place. We've got the Dove Center. We have our victims advocates who have several other options along with working with the Dove Center. And I don't think I'm tying those two together, but I'm just saying our goal with our mentally ill crisis person is we don't want that to keep happening. We want to get them the help they need so that they can lead a healthy, happy, productive life. And it's the same with our victims, is we want them to know that this doesn't have to be their life. There's help out there, and we know where it is, so come with us, We'll create the distance that you need by addressing the criminal aspects, and then my victims advocate, my Dove Center, my DCFS, my help here at the college that does all of the above. We're all here, just give us a chance.
And I would say, excuse me, that if you know someone or it's you, or you have a friend or a loved one that's in an abusive relationship, to say something. Because I think that silence is one of the greatest weapons that
have to write that down. That's so good. There, several times a week, St. George advocates, I'm like, they're fabulous. Hurricane, that's my mantra. Dove Center, it's constantly coming out of my mouth all week long, almost every day. Washington County, 5 counties, has a huge resource book that you can pick up for $5, or you can be like me, and I downloaded it, and that's an awesome way to educate yourself and others, because it's all there. It tells you what each agency does, they update it. So that would be one way. The other thing is DCFS has made great strides. I speak for myself, but I can speak for the team in my office. I want to help you. I do not want your children out of your home. Study after study shows that really is not an end goal result that best helps anyone. So reporting does not mean negative. I have clients that walk away, and you can call me. You can still call me. I may be able to help you, I may not be able to help you. But we're right, we're very interconnected, and I don't know what I would do, honestly, without the community partners that we have here. And law enforcement, I can't even begin to tell you how amazing they are in each division. So the bottom line is make yourself aware of what there is out there, because someone is going to need something, and if you have it off the tip of your head, that may be the catalyst for them. Thank you.
So mine's really short and sweet. Hopefully if you walk away from anything from this video, it's that when someone is leaving an abusive partner, it is an extremely dangerous time for them. She said how that's exactly what she did do. That's how this movie ended. She was trying to leave, and her life was the price that she was willing to pay for it. So if you know someone who's in an abusive relationship and they are ready to leave, make sure they understand to do it safely, because if they just try to do it, they're going to put themselves at extreme risk. So if they do it, let's get some victim advocates involved and do safety planning. Let's look into the protection order so that there's some teeth law enforcement can use to create that distance. Let's get the whole plan in place so that there's an increased safety net for that person who's going to be at high risk for a little while once they've left, and to make sure that they can actually physically get out safely and not be stopped in the act, because that could be a really high risk of potential homicide in that moment, because we know that an overwhelming high percentage of domestic violence related homicides happen when the victim is leaving their abuser. So on that note, please remember all of us, and let's all work together, because you guys are the voices and the eyes and the ears, and if you can help people get to us, we'll all work together to make a difference.
Yes, sir.
Is St. George Police Department
Murdered by their abusers. The film highlights some of the challenges of working within the legal system from the advocate's perspective. And that makes me wonder, what can and can't St. George police officers do when responding to domestic calls?
Well, first, when we respond, we have to determine if there's a crime. Police officers deal with the criminal aspects of situations, so right off the bat, that's what we need to determine. We are able to separate so that we can interview each person, and if someone is being abused, they don't have that person staring at them and causing them to feel intimidated, and they do have the opportunity to speak to us one-on-one without that fear. We determine that there is a crime, domestic violence crime that's been committed, it is a mandatory arrest. We would transport the violator, the suspect, to purgatory, and then we also would serve them with what is called a no contact notice. They're given a no contact order once they're within a purgatory for domestic related charges. If they violate that, it's an automatic arrest. The victim would also be notified of that. We also notify the victim about our victim service advocates, encourage them to contact, but regardless of whether or not they do contact our victims advocates, our victims advocates do reach out the next day generally, and make immediate contact with the victim to make sure that if they need services, that those services are available to them. We've
On the other side of the door, terrified, because they know what's gonna happen. So with the protective order, the police can respond, and even though there's not, knocking on the door is not a crime,